here this afternoon, I wanted to jump on and talk about the menstrual cycle. And the reason why I want to talk about that, if you guys have been following some of the videos that I've been posting lately, I coach people with thyroid disorders. I had a thyroidectomy, I had hormone issues before I balanced out my hormones and really changed my health. And so through coaching people that have had thyroid issues, especially women, I find that for years, and for some women decades, there have been underlying hormone, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone issues that either went undiagnosed or were covered up. And I wish I could say that a lot has changed. You know, if I'm coaching someone in their 60s, what I find is that those same girls, the same women that I'm coaching in their 20s and their late teens, all have the same type of issues that are just not getting well. And so yesterday I was looking through the research and just kind of reading about hormone balance, and I saw that ACOG, which is it's the Association for American Colleges of OBGYNs, had released a committee opinion, which is crazy that it's an opinion, but what they released was menstruation in girls and adolescents using the menstrual cycle as a vital sign. And so one thing that I wanted to point out here, I have it on my computer, is that they said that clinicians should educate girls and their caretakers, their parents or guardians, about, okay, what to expect with their menstrual cycle. That identifying abnormal issues and identifying potential health concerns will help them be well into adulthood. So what they're pretty much saying is that if we could teach young women how to understand their bodies and to understand what's going on during their cycles, then we can avoid a lot of pain and suffering. And this is an opinion. I don't need someone to tell me this is an opinion. This should be fact. In fact, this was done in 2015. I'm still having people come in with cycle issues and not know how to, track their cycles or how to read them. And this was 4 years ago. And let me go and tell you, just because this was printed out 4 years ago, this information has been around forever. In fact, let's be completely honest here. This is something that people have known for centuries, that I live in my body, and if something is wrong, just because a lot of other people have that wrong thing, doesn't mean that it's normal. It's common, but it's not normal. For centuries, we listened to our body. We had a connection with our body. And now there's this major disconnect, especially with the female body, about what our uterus is doing, what our ovaries are doing. And what I find is that whenever there's a dysfunction, we are taught to attack it. We are taught to see it as an enemy. If we can't control X, Y, and Z, this symptom of acne, if we can't control heavy bleeding, if we can't control painful periods, let's just go ahead and put a birth control pill to it. Let's put, synthetic, and this goes for all, I do mention a lot about hormone, like the estrogen base, but progesterone, anything that's going to wreck your normal cycle is just not healthy for the body. I am of the camp that you should be able to make an informed decision for your health. And so if you understand the risks and you understand, what's going on with your cycle and how it will influence your cycle in the long term, and you choose to take birth control, then that is your decision. I'm not here to tell someone to take birth control or not take birth control. This is for those people that follow us, those people that come in to see me or do a virtual consult with me, that are at a loss for word as to why menopause was so difficult, or at a loss for words as to why, they had a hysterectomy, or why they're pushing hysterectomy, as to why they've had painful periods, why they can't come off birth control when they want to, why they have difficulties getting pregnant. This is for people that are wondering in the back of their mind what else is out there and what is causing this problem. So your menstrual cycle is a vital sign. It is telling us so much about what's going on with your hormones. If you're having headaches around your menstrual cycle, that's telling us something. It could be too much of a spike in progesterone. If you're having heavy cramping, it could be too much estrogen, heavy bleeding, short, irregular. All of these things are telling us something, and we need to listen to our bodies to understand it. Because now we have this major issue where a lot of women are on birth control, not really to stop from getting pregnant, but they're on birth control to stop pain, to stop dysfunction, which it never is going to get down to the cause. You're just covering up those symptoms. And so again, an important thing for you guys to understand that just covering up symptoms is never going to get you well. And an irregular, painful, or a period that's off or too long is telling you something about what's occurring inside of your body. So what are some things that you can start doing to better understand your body? I'll go ahead and tell you, I had a professor in chiropractic school give me a book. It was like an OBGYN class, a hormone class that we learned. And he gave me this book, and it completely changed my life, and it completely changed my thinking, because it taught me that my body is powerful as a woman, that my uterus and my ovaries, they want to function well, that there's ways to avoid getting pregnant besides medicating. And so this is the book. I know this is going to show it backwards because I'm on selfie mode or whatever mode this is, but this is the book I always recommend, Taking Charge of Your Fertility. I can tell you guys, healing my hormones and healing from the radiation that I received when they cut out my thyroid, it was really important for me to take care of my hormones, but I also didn't want to get pregnant. You know, we were opening up our health center, and so this helped me understand my cycles, and I was able to accurately get pregnant when we wanted to, and I was able to very successfully avoid getting pregnant. So yes, we did on purpose have 2 kids a year and a half apart. Maybe we didn't think it the whole way through, but it's still a lot of fun right now. So taking charge of your fertility, one thing that I love that it taught me is one point that they made in the book is that we kind of feel very disconnected to what our reproductive organs are doing. So we feel kind of gross about it, or we don't really want to know very much about it. I have a lot of women that might come in and I start talking to them about, healthy pregnancy, and they're just kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Well, we have to take away that stigma. Discharge is such a gross word, and people don't want to talk about discharge, but really our cervical fluid is a very vital sign of telling you that you can get pregnant. So fluid is normal and it's natural, and it's a big sign of what's happening in regards to ovulation and your estrogen and progesterone levels. I love taking charge of your fertility because I have helped multiple women track their way into pregnancy. I have had women message me and say, I've been doing ovulation strips and I don't know what's going on. And I tell them, do taking charge of your fertility. And it teaches you how to graph. Let's see if I can find a graph here. It teaches you how to graph it so that you can understand that your basal body temperature, that's a good example right there. Your basal body temperature will tell you a lot about what's going on internally in your body. If you guys are watching this video and you would like me to do a webinar, a short little webinar or Facebook Live just for women on tracking, please comment that you would like me to do that, because I'm thinking about doing that for our followers in our group and our practice member and my coaching clients, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to open it up to all you guys. But if you'd like me to, please comment, hey, I would love to know about the Taking Charge of Your Fertility webinar. This book, it's worth it. I know it's thick, but you can jump around. So the first step is understanding what your cervical fluid, what your temperature, what symptoms you're feeling around your cycle, what they're all telling you, so that you can get well and you can understand your hormones. And for those of you that are looking for natural ways to avoid getting pregnant, let me go ahead and tell you, another pet peeve of mine is when people have told me, oh, you're doing natural family planning. Good luck with that. I have a friend that did it and they ended up pregnant. No, I'm not just guessing my way through my cycles. I'm actually tracking it. So by the time we had gotten pregnant, I understood my cycle for years. And even when I kind of missed taking my temperature and my basal body temperature, I still understood what my body was going through. I hate to admit it, but I wasted like $80 each pregnancy on pregnancy tests because I knew I was pregnant before it was even positive on my pregnancy test. I just wanted to see it. So this isn't about just guessing and hoping and for the best. This is understanding with your body, understanding what your body is trying to communicate with you, and listening and honoring this amazing power that your body has put in to your body and to the female body. So taking charge of your fertility, start tracking it. If you're going to use a tracking app, I would highly recommend using a tracking app that you can graph so you can see the spikes like they talk about in this book. The second thing, and this is for people that just, I'll be completely honest, after I did this test on myself, and I've done it on multiple people here in our office, we just started carrying it, I believe that this is a test that everyone should do, especially women, but men as well. And it's called the Dutch test. It's a dried urine test for comprehensive hormone testing. And what it looks at is if you want to see exactly what your estrogen, progesterone, and your testosterone is doing. And so it looks at all the metabolites. And what's really great is that, you know, one thing I did have from when I was a teenager is I did have fibroid growth that showed up during pregnancy, and it grows with estrogen. But through doing my Dutch test, I was able to find out, I'm going to show you guys an example of how detailed this test is. Just so you know, it's about like 6-7 pages long of information. This is just one page of information. But what's really cool to understand is that 16-OHE1, which is a metabolite of estrogen, it causes cell proliferation, which means a lot of people that have high 16-OHE1 will have fibroid issues. A lot of people that have high 4-OHE1, not a lot of people, research shows that high 4-OHE1 creates things that damage your DNA and will cause breast cancer. But what does this all mean? What the Dutch test looks at is it looks at testosterone, precursors, and metabolites, you can see there. It also looks at progesterone, the two things that make up progesterone, or 3 different types of estrogen. And I think the most important thing it shows you is these pathways here. So this is the proper pathway to take to get estrogen out of your body, and looking at what your body is doing and which pathway is going to be problematic. I am such a huge fan of the Dutch test. I will post a link here. If you're not a patient in the office, if you're not a coaching client, I'll post a link. And what we do is, if you'd like, you can order the test, and it includes a consult with me to go over your results, because I know it can be overwhelming. It also looks at cortisol, cortisone, DHEA production. And I like that because, again, when we have hormone dysfunction, it's not because we have a birth control or synthetic estrogen deficiency. It's because our body is saying something. And what I found here in the last year, a majority of the individuals that are coming to me to be coached for their thyroid issue started off with hormone irregularities with their cycles. And they started off with gut issues. And over time, their thyroid then became dysfunctional. Why? Because you're not this separate system. Everything is interconnected. And so when one thing is off, everything is off. So I just wanted to share with you guys my 2 favorite resources. I will also post a link to Taking Charge of Your Fertility from our Amazon store, so you can just go and look at it. It's really life-changing. But I do want to encourage women to understand that this birth control, that it can clear out. This is like kind of like a Band-Aid for a gushing wound. It can kind of keep some of the blood in, but it's going to keep on getting worse. I just want to encourage every woman out there that watches this video to know how powerful our bodies are, and we can prepare our bodies to be healthy and to be well without looking for an outside in approach. We can look from the inside out to know exactly what our body needs. And so, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll post those links now. And if you'd like to be a part of our webinar on tracking your cycles, comment below. Have a wonderful day.